What's up, everyone? John here, and today we are playtesting this cash maxing RPG, which is a conversational role-playing game. A tabletop style role-playing game is the inspiration here, using AI as the game master. And we will be using the Eve framework. So the implementation is largely already done. This is the second stream in a multi-part series. You can go to the YouTube channel and see the stream on Eve cash maxing to see more of the development. Today, we are going to try out a couple things. One, we're going to play test it. Okay, so Claude tells me it's ready to play. Let's see how right it is. I think we're going to run into bugs very quickly. So first play test. I haven't even tried play testing it on my own. Wanted to stream this. The second thing that we're going to see is get a feel for parallel or concurrent work. So I'm going to try, if possible, to do the playtest and build a UI tool concurrently. So this is a text-based game. If you're old school like me, you might be familiar with the MUD games. These were like text-based RPGs that you could play in a terminal. So we're drawing inspiration from that, but now there's generative AI in the loop. Those games, you can have a visualization layer. And so there's game state that's saved to a SQL database. This application uses SQLite for local high-performance SQL structured data persistence, but it's on my computer. It's not anywhere remote. In theory, there could be a browser tool that's able to look at that game state and visualize it. And in theory, maybe, this is like risky stuff, that development can happen concurrent with actually playing a session without interrupting the session. Because I'm not going to implement any kind of like versioning or anything like that. I'm going to try to work on them both. One of the points here is just because I want the visualization. Another point is to try to give you some of the flavor of concurrent work when we use agents for concurrent tasks and this idea of active juggling. So we're going to be actively juggling. On the job, I might be actively juggling two agents as developer tools. Here, I'm going to be actively juggling a playtest and one agent as a developer tool. The third and final thing that we'll do today with this is really test the Anthropic usage limits. I've been using Opus. Really like this foundation model, really great developer model. I'm planning to use a lighter model for the playtest, because the Opus has, from what I understand last time I checked, 2 times usage over Haiku when it comes to the credit usage. And when I am developing with Opus, I've been kind of ballparking this, but I've spent my capacity for the day, so it resets daily, and I've been spending that in a matter of like 2 hours. So the question is, will it stretch? Will it last longer? Let's see. I'm not sure exactly how much I coded today before I got on here. What time is it? Yeah, so not more than an hour. I might have done an hour so far. I think less than that. Somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes I've done today. And so will we hit that wall between using the model and developing at the same time? Will we hit that usage limit by the end of the stream? Let's say that I do anywhere between a 30 and 120 minute stream. Will we last that long? If we are hitting usage limit, that could be an indication that maybe I need to go up from the, I don't know what it is, like the pro plan. I think I'm just spending like 20, 30 bucks a month on it. And maybe I need to go up to that big one. That's the $200 a month, which I'm kind of torn about. I won't offer too much editorial right now, but I'm kind of torn about that because I like to teach people who are just starting out. And that's not something that is going to be reasonable for a lot of people to do. But at the same time, I don't think that there is an expectation that early career programmers actually be able to do those things like active juggling. At least not today. So anyway, keep that in mind. That's some background context. And let's get into it. Welcome in all. So apparently I can just do /play. This was implemented as a command line tool. This is the RPG. No, that's not where I want to be. I want to be in... what is that thing called? Is it Agentic RPG? Let me oh no, this is a spec MD. I want to see, oh, it's Cache Maxer. ABC Cache, it's not here, huh? Add. It's right here. Oh, okay, it's just not in alphabetical order. For whatever reason, I assumed it was going to be in alphabetical order. Okay, so Cache Maxer RPG is what it's called. Because the idea is that it's a command line tool first, and the text will pass through a deterministic check where we can do cache lookups and like die rolls without calling out to a language model, and then we fall back to the language model. Prevents a ton of token usage, is the idea with this pattern. And I'm not going to try to like look through stuff. I'm going to try to spin up Claude. And the skills, in theory, the skills should be set up. That it should just work. So fastest for quick answers, so we'll switch into Haiku. Haiku 4.5, right? So picking a dumber model, because in theory that's going to give us more token usage and maybe a faster response from the model as well. Okay, so here, let's just play. Let's just play. I'll be your game master for a session of Cache Maxer RPG. Before I begin, I need to know, which campaign would you like to play? Let's play Yogg Campaign. Yogg Campaign. One player. Seed can be Foo. Let combat be quick. Let combat be quick. Drop a comment in the chat if whenever it comes up to actually take turns, and I might let y'all steer a bit if that sounds fun. Okay, you stand on windswept plains under a gray sky. Behind you, smoke curls from chimneys in a small town. The air smells of bread and fear. the air smells of bread and fear. Wow, okay. The slimes are getting worse. The blue creature before you is barely threatening. It wobbles with almost comical slowness, gelatinous and translucent, pulsing with a dim inner light. A harmless blue slime. Oh, it's like slightly bolded. That's great. I love that. Whatever, here's like metagame stuff, right? But like whatever is written into the skill, it's rendering bold in the terminal, which I didn't explicitly do that. So that's kind of cool. All right. The townsfolk, a harmless blue slime, the townsfolk would call it. There's something almost sad about it, the way it drifts. So the plains stretch in all directions. The town lies to the south. To my west, a thin column of gray smoke rises. What do I do? Check my inventory. Maybe I should fight this thing? For the experience? Am I streaming to LinkedIn, by the way? I actually forgot. Let me see. I don't know. Okay, hello LinkedIn if you're there. You're a capable fighter, fresh and unwounded. Your blade is steady. Let's go. And you're swift on your feet. Nothing fancy. You carry no items. Just your wits and your weapon. Fight. There's nothing here to make a stand against. Seek out a dungeon. What? That's got to be the deterministic output, which first playtest feedback is there's a misalignment between what the generative model said and what the game state representation is. You see that? Okay, the blue slime recoils, drift backward almost mournfully. It seems to dissolve into grass before you can close the distance. A strange sensation washes over you. This isn't the place for a true battle. Look at that. This is generative AI covering its ass. Do you see that? So there was a technical error that battle is not allowed here. And the language model Haiku spun it over as if it was a mystical aspect of the real world building. Oh man. I feel so strangely about that. Okay, but this should be captured. Okay, so feedback. I have a feedback skill, which I can call just in time to emit feedback. The latest round appears to be a case of game engine and GM text misalignment, where the GM decided to cover its ass. There's got to be a technical way to say this better. It's like it tried to play off the error as a world building, as an intentional world building. Or narrative element. This isn't the place for a true battle. We need some way to classify cases like this and prevent and resolve them. Okay, H1873 says, yo, what up? Okay, so I'm leaving a little bit of feedback. We will see, but that should be outside of the actual game loop. And this dropped a JSON-L file, which is strange to me. I don't know why it's JSON-L rather than JSON. Feedback saved. You're right. I should have been transparent instead of narratively covering it up. Let me reset. The engine doesn't allow random combat on the plains. You need to find a dungeon to fight. Okay, so it did include the feedback within. This is so embarrassing. Now it's like I was like playing a game at the table and I like called out the dungeon master. How cringe is that, right? Deterministic no language model is involved. Category is other. Content. The feedback skill description says, and the intent was to segregate engine feedback from the play session context. But based on the current conversation, those are getting mixed. My game master is exposed to engine feedback context, which is not intended. Bro, why'd you cut your hair? When? When is the last time you saw me? I cut my hair like, February. Was it before February? It was sometime around then, I think. The long hair, it was getting annoying at the gym. You know, it's the summer. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to the beach next week. And I wanted shorter hair. Man. Okay, feedback saved. Good catch. The skill should log silently in the background without surfacing context to the GM during active play. So now it's pretending that it's like, look, I'm back in GM mode. Let's play along with it. Why not? Although I'm very strongly tempted to cut and go to a new session, but let's keep it moving. And concurrently here, I'm playtesting in another session. Feel free to look at the feedback file for some found issues. I was surprised it is .jsonl rather than .json. Why is that? Okay. You can deal with that or backlog it. In the then prioritize development of a UI UX experience, which can visualize the game state outside of the chat session. This could be ASCII based or browser based. Icons or text representations are all fine. No need for fancy graphics. Okay. Ideally, I can call visualize or similar to launch the tool out of conversation context band, or hold a browser window open, which reflects the latest game state when refreshed. So that's Opus over there cooking. All right. Back to the plains. The blue slime is gone. You stand alone in wedge-shut grass. Let's head to the town. I want to talk to the townsfolk and see their thoughts. Drop a comment in the chat if there is a move that you think I should make. Over 100 likes on TikTok. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Let's see, off of TikTok, what's going on? I have like different windows. Nope, I'm not seeing anything on Twitch or YouTube. If you are on TikTok, it's a small window. Not sure if you're going to be able to see it all. If you can see it all, great. But you can go over to YouTube, link is in the bio, and you'll be able to see the full screen experience. Okay. You reached the town. It's modest stone, buildings huddled together, thin smoke from chimneys, shuttered windows. A sign creaks in the wind. The streets are eerily quiet, almost abandoned. A few townsfolk peer at you from doorways but don't approach. They seem weary, tired, worn down by something. The engine doesn't have... See, this is weird. This is this is why we playtest. Okay. I don't think the GM should say this. We should provide tools and instructions that allow dynamic NPC generation or impersonation. Yeah, if a character in game cannot talk due to being mute or similar, that's fine in a unique situation. We shouldn't have that as a general experience. For lack of dialogue mechanics. Okay, so 3 feedbacks that we have gotten in this playtest so far, right? What's this additional feedback? You see it's making these feedback records. Boom, we just added that. Great. Player moved. Nice, nice. We got these coordinates going on. That's cool. And this is so cringe because it's it's giving me the vibe of like best promotion on stream boo. Okay, thanks. It's giving me the vibe of like I'm at the tabletop like talking trash about the GM, which is so weird. Do I have any money? And is there a shop? You check your belongings, but nothing but the clothes on your back and your weapon. No coin, no supplies. The engine doesn't track currency or have a shop system yet. So while the town clearly has commerce, you can't buy or sell. That part of the world isn't implemented. Good note, we should resolve. Okay, so maybe we will have a metagame discussion skill. The feedback is great. So this can turn right into a backlog, basically. And we're getting a visualize command. Love that. Want to implement eval. We should implement evaluation for all of these like sad paths that I'm encountering. We want to capture them and then create kind of like ground truths out of them. All right, you pat your pockets and find a small purse tucked inside, 50 gold pieces, enough to get by at least for now. The townsfolk clearly still trade despite the slime troubles. The baker woman notices you eyeing the square. She straightens up, a cautious but genuine expression crossing her weathered face. Does the young person appear to be fighting age? I ask if they are tired or hungry. Is anything wrong? The young person is maybe 18 or so. They can swing a blade, but not with the weight of experience. Lean, with hollow cheeks and dark circles under their eyes. That's vivid, dude. Anthropic cooked with the haiku model. It's a fast model. It's relatively cheap, but narrative generation, I think they cooked with it. I mean, one guy's opinion. Okay, what's the engine exactly? And I'm just seeing on TikTok some comments. So you're writing Claude skills to play a TTRPG. You got it. And it's Claude skills combined with, there's actually an engine here. So there's tool usage with deterministic assets. And we're not looking at the images, but there's like an image system too. Like, here's what a blue slime looks like. You can see this, right? Yeah, I'm sharing that screen. So this is what a blue slime monster looks like, but obviously it's not showing up in the terminal. But Opus is working on a visualization engine concurrently. I instructed it poorly because I instructed it sort of like, hey, you can do ASCII or browser, but really we should be doing browser because what are we going to do with the images if it's not browser based, right? Cool. So we should distinguish the ASCII browser from. We should distinguish the ASCII, visualize ASCII from a browser-based approach. I think the browser is needed for images like this. Boop. All right, so we'll wait till it gets to a pausing point. You can see 23K tokens, 6 minutes. And I think this is fun for my personal projects because I don't like to just like sit here while I'm waiting for Claude to cook. At work, I would have multiple tasks that I can go and do. I could do that on my side projects as well, but I have found it to be less fun. I have found it to be less fun than playing a game and multitasking on coding, which is, I've done League of Legends and just like playing games and then multitasking on my actual side project. Maybe that's like a suboptimal use of my time or something. It probably is. But it's fun. I noticed your playtest data got staged. Okay, so hold on. What's going on here? No, we're going to say no. We're going to say no. No, I don't consider it a problem to stage this data because feedback can be persisted for developer purposes. If we can capture the necessary game context without the underlying save file, then we can stage one and discard the other. But I'm skeptical that's possible. I think we need the game transcript to go with the feedback. We can always delete it later. Okay, so in theory, it's doing whatever. You got the message, right? The message is that there's tool usage. But it's a conversational first AI TTRPG with Claude acting as the game master. That's right. And so what's the engine exactly? It's a series of skills and tools. Basically, you got it. Die rolls, stuff like that. They are done deterministically. Let's see if I can find one of those. World gen, biome, right? So there's like real generation going on here, and it's a seeded random. It's a seeded random. So I can get back to this seeded world if I use the same, in this case, the seed is foo. So if I do the same campaign with the same seed, I can get back to the same generated world. RNG, dice, right? It's tool usage. Okay, let's continue. You approach with genuine concern. Are you tired, hungry, something wrong? Their eyes widen slightly. They're not used to this kindness. Both. Everything. They study your face. You're not from here. You have the look of someone who fights. Are you trying to help or just passing through? What do you say? I definitely want to fight. I'm going to be the biggest hero ever. I need more experience and gold. And sweet, magical items and abilities. But first, we need to make sure that you are safe, rested, and fed. Let me go buy you some bread. Then you can decide if you feel up to the task of joining my party. Or if you are better off staying here in town. With that, I go ask there's like a baker lady, right? The baker woman. With that, I go ask the baker woman for the price of a loaf of bread. I definitely want to fight. I'm going to be the biggest super duper hero. I'm going to be the very best, like no one ever was. $5 gold. Take 2 if you'd like. We've got plenty and they don't keep long anyway. Okay, you buy hold on. You see this sly saleswoman? She says, they're 5 gold each. Take 2 if you like. And then she takes 10 gold. Bruh. It's not like a kindness buy one get one free situation. That's like, I can sell you more. I didn't want more. You smooth sales lady. Okay. She presses them into your hands, and as she does, she leans in. If you're heading west to look for Kess's sister, or anywhere near the forest, be careful. The red ones are smarter than the blue. Ooh, big yikes. And they hunt in groups now. Bro. There's something larger moving in the woods. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna help. And I heard your sister is in trouble. Sounds like you better join my party. And we can go save her. Let's see what Claude is up to. Okay, Brett have for the moment they process, then their eyes fill with tears. Not sad ones, hope. Really? Okay, great. My name is Cass. I was a scout before the slimes came. I know the western paths. I know where my sister Mira was headed. There's an old keep out there, a way station. See, and I'm seeing that this this turn data is really scant, isn't it? Okay, cool. So here I want to do some feedback. Category is performance. Category is a feature request. Perhaps other? Two things. One, the feedback skill should support enhancement as actually three things. One, the feedback skill should support enhancement as a feedback category. Two, we need to implement an eval system for the prompt input and output so that we can measure performance improvements from tool and instruction changes. Okay, three, the current game data in yog.foo.save.json seems extremely scant, extremely sparse, and incomplete representation of the rich game session history. Is that info saved elsewhere, such as the SQL DB? We need to fully document the game session metadata and narrative text per turn. In order to enable adequate quality review. Cool, we got 5 records of feedback. Good, this is like a good play session, I think. You're right, the transcript system mentioned in Claude isn't being written. There's a gap between the documented design and what's implemented. The save file only captures only bare engine state, not narrative layer at all. Here, I'm going to grab this line. That's a great line. I'm going to grab that line, and I'm going to go into the feedback and edit this text. I'm going to literally take that text because that's, I think, well said. Boom. Okay. Great. Kess is ready and eager. The afternoon is burning away. The west road to Greywood awaits. I head west, eating what's left of the bread. You and Kess stride westward, the town shrinking behind you. The bread is warm and fills my belly. Great. Kess walks beside you with newfound confidence. Dagger loose. Let's go, Kess. I didn't even know you had a dagger. Thought you were going to be fist fighting Kess. Then the air shifts. A slime materializes. This one is violet. Oh, this one is violet. Are we about to get wrecked? This one is violet. Okay. Its color speaks of something angrier, more aware. It blocks your path, quivering. You stand breathing hard, adrenaline singing. You drove it off. Oh, okay, cool. Kess stares at you. That was incredible. The plains stretch ahead in the distance. Okay, so I think what happened here is that the battle actually transpired here, and then it just told me what the result was. But there's something, I think, tactile about me rolling the die. Yeah. Okay. Think maybe we'll do 2 more rounds here. You and Cass press onward, the planes begin to roll, and the tree line draws closer with each step. We should be careful here. Okay. Shouldn't we have been careful the whole time? Enter Greywood or camp here? Well, it's going to depend on the time and on my level of energy. And Mira said in her last message that she was heading for the old way station. Another day's march west through these woods. What time of day is it? And how is our energy level? I think we should camp once the sun goes down, but perhaps not yet. We're past 45 minutes, by the way, of juggling on both of these. You're at peak condition, full health and magic. The bread filled you well, and the fight against left your blood singing rather than drained. Wow, okay. Apparently I'm a scary person. Let's press on into Greywood. Let's head towards Kess's sister as best our navigation ability allows. Look at this. Okay, so already, this is not exactly what I had in mind because I wanted it to work on the visualization. But as we are going, the game engine switched over and it's printing out more data. Okay, this one, Crimson, Dark, and Angry. Bigger than the Violet one, smarter. Yikes. Yikes. This is nasty. It wraps around your blade and burns, not with heat, but with something acrid and caustic. You tear free, gasping, blood seeping from a gash on your shoulder and ribs. Okay, red ones like that, they are dangerous. You and Cass back away, creating distance. It retreats. Okay. I'd like to head west, I think. Unless it's walled off effectively. If I can. I'll just say if I can. I'd like to head west, I think, if I can. I push west across the plains. We're moving parallel to the forest, not into it. The way station is inside Greywood, not around it. We should head south, cut through the woods properly if we want to find Mira before dark. Okay, head south. Over 100 likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. The forest swallows you whole. That's crazy. Forest is quiet. All right, that's good. I had you catch a glimpse of something pale through the trees. Stone, maybe, or bone. Push forward towards it, circle wide, or make camp here while you can still gather wood. Push forward. Let's continue south. Let's continue south, whether or not that is towards the pale vision. Okay, the forest deepens. You're now surrounded on all sides by ancient trees. Can it be so thick that twilight has come early? Okay, so we're getting ready to camp at this point. A slime erupts from the darkness, orange-red, burning with heat and fury. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so at this point, I would want to camp, but I actually want to pause and see what's up with the other opus. Because I want to try to visualize this scene if possible. Okay, PM visualize. That's so weird. Does it presume that there's only one active game? All right, let's try it. Whoa. Yeah, let's like what's going on here? Of course, right? And it's committing for me again. Dude, I did not say to do that. Okay, verified on yog-foo. Okay, so that's how it works. All right, PMP visualize yog-foo. Is that how it's supposed to work? Append only logs get 01. Okay, cool. So it's a JSON, log thing. Does this have a help? Yeah, it doesn't have a help. It's not clear to me what command I should run or whether I can truly run this outside of the game session. Perhaps it is only meant to be run inside of a game session. Let's see. The README play campaign arc over here, okay. Visualize is over here. Visualize save path. That's interesting. What is the save path? it's not clear to me what the save path is. I think we want some command, some way of showing available local save paths by default. E.g., error happens. Okay, so when the command is called without a valid save path, we tell the user what's available. All right, we'll get this visualization done, and then we'll wrap. Probably in the next stream, we'll cover evaluation, and you can see the full cycle here where we do the playtest, collect feedback, and that feedback becomes an evaluation ground truth set. So we'll do that conversion with the eval in the next stream, and then we will see the improvement loop, the product improvement loop, where we make the eval, we run, we benchmark the performance, and then we try to tinker on the tools and instructions, and then we see a lift in the performance in that ground truth. So here, Claude has made some updates to the instructions. You see it says, no longer rejected in the open world, it now picks a fight with a wandering foe anywhere, right? So these are instructional changes, and we could do a new session and verify that those fixes worked. That would be kind of the naive thing to do. But the better thing to do would be to put those into an evaluation system where I can ramp up the sample count. Because these are non-deterministic systems in large part. Actually, it's a hybrid non-deterministic system, but there's non-deterministic subcomponent. So the fact that like I do one more playtest and then it still fails, or I do one more playtest and then it works, that's not a really robust, like statistically valid evaluation system, right? That's not the state of the art. Okay, you're right, I committed without asking. Claude says not to. My mistake, I treated an earlier commit and continue as a standing permission. I won't do that again. Good boy. You're hitting 3 real gaps. No positional shorthand, no help, and no save discovery. Let me fix all 3. First, a shared save stir so everything's discoverable. Wow, it's doing a lot of... That was not a little tweak, was it? It's doing a lot of lift and shift for that. I better see some tests, baby. Zesting. Oh, back on TikTok, still 126 likes. Did nothing I do between... I was like stoked when we broke 100, and then it's like I did nothing interesting since then. All right. Sorry, team. We are at the 1 hour mark. So in terms of the juggling usage, looks like we can last an hour juggling. That's great. I'm going to let it go and do its thing, but I need to see some tests. Don't let me forget that, okay? All right, so now just falling fast. Let's set camp. You look for a clearing, gathering branches and deadfall. Kess helps, but even as the last light fades from the sky, you both feel it. The forest resists rest here. This is so contrived. I really hate this. Okay, the slimes are active in darkness. There's no safety in the open woods. Okay? $36 out of 48 HP. I'll go one further, and then I'm going to bail all the way out to the north. Okay, the tree's thin, the canopy opens. You and Kess stumble out of Greywood's depths, and the world changes. The last dregs of twilight reveal a stark landscape. Open plains again. But ahead, perched on a low rise, you see it, the old way station keep. We made it! I didn't know this was going to happen, yo. This is procedurally generated. You're seeing real joy being sparked. Okay. I'm so glad that happened. That makes me feel awesome. Can we try to camp here? Go inside in the morning? The forest edge offers no refuge. The engine of the world won't let you rest here. Bro, this is not... This is like feedback. A category of feedback should be able to specify undesired input-output pair for eval. One such pair would be my recent turn. Okay, input is that. Output is this. Reason is play turn response should not include metagame or technical information unless the metagame skill is invoked. I do think as far as Haiku, like Haiku as the GM, when it needs to rewind a turn, is doing a good job. Approach the keep now and seek shelter, or push on through the night toward another town. Approach the keep. PNPM, visualize, Yogg, serve. Let's do this. Oh, nice. It's bringing it up inside the IDE. Do you see that? So we have this kind of like ASCII map. This is hard. This is hard to read, but whatever. It's an ASCII map. That's how it's going to be. What's a big T? A big T is a town, I think. Oh, here's the legend. Forest, hills, plains. That's so cool, man. It's only my hero, but why is my bro is not in my team? Something's changed. They're angrier. Push the final distance. Fight everyone. Let's freaking go. Oh, did that just kind of like dynamically give me a row? Look, it's shifting. It's shifting dynamically. That's so cool. You're wandering through the hills that the engine generates. Oh man. Can you imagine you're at a tabletop game and the game master is like, you're wandering through the hills that I've generated? What happened? Let me control O. What actually happened here? West, south. Okay, so it just made my guy walk around. The engine doesn't have the way station key implemented as a specific location yet. I led you toward it narratively, but it's not a dungeon or interactive location in the current build. So it narratively led me to this point on the map that's just like a normal hill. Okay. There's a big D over here. 1, 2, 3. I want to go to that big D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I want to go north 4, east 5. Look, it's moving me around. You see that? East to the town and rest for the night. You rest in the town and recover. Boom. It's just like a real RPG. Look at what we're doing, chat. Let's see. Let's go west 8. Okay, the browser is great. Backlog. What do you call it? Shroud of battle, or like, what is that? Fog of war. 97% context used, so we're gonna have to go to a new opus soon. Okay, you and Kess push west from the town, back into the wild. I want to go. I'm trying to get to this big D over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 5 or 6 west. 5 more west. Kez looks around, uncertain. Yeah, so this is a big gap. Feedback. If the game progress depends on visiting a location, it should be part of the game state, either seeded or able to be generated on the fly, but it should be a real physical, a real location in the game state, not in the game state data, not just a narrative location. All narrative goals must be aligned to technical support and vice versa. Game state holds a party, not a single player. Okay, look at that. So that's another finding is that we didn't really have. Kess is not really in my team. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. I see in the map. One, 2, 3, 4, south 5, please. You and Kess push south through dense forest. Twice, slimes emerge, angry ones. You fight them off, your blade sharp, but they draw blood. 3748 HP. That's okay. The forest grows older as you go deeper. The trees are massive, gnarled, and twisted. Do I see something in the current cell? Or is it the one on the map a couple steps away? Let's investigate the current cell first. Feedback. I'm narratively describing things that don't exist as real locations. regardless of push or pull. Whatever the GM says must be aligned with the actual game state at the time of statement. It should be mechanically valid state. We're just lost in the woods. Okay, south 1, west 1. Keep exploring. Might randomly hit terrain that has a dungeon. Unlikely, but possible. No, I can see the map humming. This is starting to look like a real journal log. You agree? You push south through the deep forest, another slime emerges. D20, 20 versus 13, you drive it off effortlessly. 22 versus 13, you see that? Your blood cuts through the air with perfect timing. Then you turn west, the forest opens a dungeon entrance. It's real. Why do I feel like Haiku, the game master, is more shocked than me that it's real? It's like, oh, there is a dungeon here. Awesome. 126 likes. Let's get some more likes on the video, please. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. We'll go to our little browser over here. Stone carved from the living rock, ancient and deliberate, archway above, darkness within. The air smells of earth and something else, something old, something that hums with power. How do you smell like you hum with power? That's a weird thing to say. The Yog Kitchens. This is where you make your stand. Cool, let's enter. Let's enter and let's fight to the death. Hopefully quickly, because I'm getting hungry. The dungeon repels me? What? Is that real? You step into the darkness. The stone corridor stretches before you, lit by an eerie phosphorescent glow from the walls themselves. The air is warm, thick, and with the smell of cooking. The dungeon moves. Oh, okay. In the sense of a fictional book that the dungeon moves. It's like this. It's like there's movement within the dungeon. Slimes, hundreds of them, suspended in the walls themselves. That totally hurt, dude. You and Kess fight your way backward out of the dungeon, bursting back into the forest, gasping and bleeding. Do we have any items or spells that could buff? We can pray really hard. Okay, the engine doesn't have any items, systems, buff spells, or stat boosting mechanics implemented yet. But the dungeon doesn't recognize divine intervention yet. So sad. Bro, this is so sad. as a TTRPG. Give me some kind of mechanics, please. For now, we do it the plain vanilla raw knuckle way. George! We're gonna get beat up, aren't we? Haiku says yes! Not anymore, you snarl. I do keep fighting. I'll die trying. Or Kess can go first. Or Kess can go first, maybe. Dun dun dun! Yogg falls. Game over. Win. What a run. That was magnificent. Can we take Yogg back to the town? Didn't really want to murder anyone. Can we take Yogg back to the town? I didn't actually want to kill him. My bad. So did we save the sister? Or is she still... We like killed this guy. It's like, where's the sister? So do we save... Is she still missing? Okay. Oh, man. As long as this is recorded, then Opus will be able to do an AI review. Yogg is stopped and the flow of slimes ends. Nice. I'm the winner. I'm the best ever. Game state. Okay. Mirror was never implemented in the game state. Okay, so this is input, output. Yeah, mirror was never implemented in the game state. This text is not logged anywhere. Is it logged somewhere? It's under transcripts. Foo transcripts. Yeah, dude, it's not actually logging all the narrative text. Feedback, the logs still don't capture the narrative text. They do capture the like input output commands of some sort. But I want the whole narrative text to be logged. Here's a worthy fragment. All right, chat. Thanks for being here. We're going to pause it there.